Okay, let's dive into this. Imagine this. What if those, big 5-year goals you've set, the ones that feel kind of far off, what if you could actually hit them in just 6 months? This sounds pretty ambitious, right?
That's not ambitious. But what's really interesting is the material we're looking at today suggests it's actually possible. It gives you a real framework, like a practical path to speed things up dramatically.
Exactly. And that's our mission here, isn't it? To break down these strategies from the source, make them really actionable for you, help you close that gap between who you are now and that future self you imagine, and do it fast.
Yeah, and the core idea is pretty straightforward, actually. It's powerful, though.
Yeah.
The key is starting to act like that future self right now, today. Because who you become in 5 years, it really depends completely on what you do, say, over the next 6 months.
Which makes you wonder, if it's that simple at its core, why do so many of us feel, stuck? Why does that future self seem so distant sometimes? The source points out some common reasons. Caring too much what others think, insecurity holding us back.
Inconsistent habits, too. That's a big one. And not keeping promises to ourselves. That really undermines progress.
Right, and breaking free from that, that's exactly what this framework aims to help with. It focuses on 3 key areas. First, how you plan.
Then, mindset, cultivating the right inner game.
And third, turning it all into real, consistent action, habits and routines. So let's start with that first pillar, planning. It's obviously crucial, but, and this is important, we're not talking about getting bogged down in endless planning that goes nowhere.
No, definitely not analysis paralysis. The goal here is planning that's efficient, actionable. Planning that actually moves you forward.
Okay, so where do you start with that kind of planning?
It starts with really getting the destination clear. You can't act like your future self if you don't know them, like inside and out.
Yeah.
Who have they actually become? And maybe even more important, why do they think and act the way they do?
This sounds like that why method the source mentions. It's a neat tool. Like, say you want to live somewhere specific, maybe New York City. Instead of just writing, move to New York, you ask why. Why that city?
Exactly. And maybe the first answer is just, I like it. But you push deeper. Why do you like it? You might find out the core thing is, the energy. A big, bustling, busy place.
Yeah. And if you keep digging, like, would you be happy somewhere quiet? Probably not, if that's the core need. So maybe the real goal isn't just New York, it's the vibe of a major city. Suddenly London or Tokyo or LA might also fit the bill. It refines the goal.
Precisely. It helps you understand the underlying desire. And defining that future self means looking at all the different parts of their life. The source lays out some really helpful categories to think about.
Yourself, right. Your whole vibe aura, mindset, how confident you are, personality traits, even how you look, how you dress. What's the essence?
Yes. And money. Not just a bank balance, but that feeling of abundance. How you earn it. How you handle it, investing, saving, splurging. And critically, what does money do for you? Freedom, travel, supporting causes, luxury.
Then career and opportunities. The actual work. Are you leading, creating? What industry? What's the work-life balance like? What kind of cool opportunities pop up? Travel, awards, collaborations.
Your relationships, too. Friends, family. What are those dynamics like? How often do you connect? Is it supportive, reciprocal?
And your romantic relationship, if that's relevant? How are you treated? How do you give and receive love? What do you do together? Any big milestones on the horizon?
Your home, too. Where is it? What does it feel like? Look like? Specifics matter here. The walk-in closet, the home office, a pool. Let yourself dream big.
Don't forget hobbies and happiness. What actually fills your day-to-day with joy, outside of the big achievements?
And finally, leisure. What do weekends look like? Mornings. What about regular habits like diet, exercise?
Wow. Okay. So asking those detailed questions really helps pull out the specifics, turns vague ideas into actual goals. You could literally make a checklist, maybe, for 5 years out, broken down year by year.
Exactly. And here's where planning gets really practical, really actionable. You take those big goals, the details of your future self's life, and you translate them into concrete actions scheduled into your week. The force strongly suggests planning your week every Sunday, making it a routine.
Okay, so give me an example. Like, if future me is a successful YouTuber.
Then you schedule specific blocks this week for brainstorming, for scripting, for filming, for editing. It's in the calendar. If your future self reads a lot, you schedule, say, 30 pages every single day. It's not just a wish. It's a planned activity.
Ah, I see. So you're not just hoping you'll find time for it, you're making the time. The result is, by just doing these small, planned weekly things, you're kind of automatically building that dream life. It just becomes normal, part of the schedule.
Exactly. It becomes non-negotiable, which loops right back to that core idea, your future self's reality. It's being built by what your current self does consistently. You don't wait to feel confident before you act. The action creates the confidence.
So if I'm facing something scary, like, I don't know, a networking event where I know nobody,
You ask yourself, would my future self do this? If the answer is yes,
then you gotta do it, even if you're nervous. Because doing it is how you become that person who isn't nervous.
that's the idea. And the source also mentions tools, like organizational platforms. Things like Milanote were mentioned. You can use them for mood boards, planning routines, organizing project ideas. Like that YouTube content. Helps keep it all organized and visible.
Okay, makes sense. So, planning gives us the map. Now, mindset. This feels huge. The source says it's basically the foundation, right? Without the right mindset, the best plans, they just won't stick.
Absolutely critical. It's all about making those internal shifts so your thinking actually matches where you want to go. One of the first shifts is just recognizing your own potential.
You mean those big dreams aren't just random?
Exactly. The source suggests seeing them as clues, echoes, almost, of a version of you that could exist. It shows your potential. They're like blueprints, not just fantasies.
Interesting. Okay, what else?
The power of visualization. But more than just daydreaming. The source talks about creating future memories. So you vividly imagine that future life, your future self, and you really feel the emotions of already having achieved it.
Like creating a memory before it happens? That sounds powerful.
It really is. It builds belief.
Yeah.
Makes the dream feel tangible, less like some impossible thing. You can imagine looking back, having already done it, doing this regularly. You can really shift your sense of what's possible.
Okay, I like that. What about failure? That's always a big hurdle.
Huge. And the mindset shift here is crucial. Trying to avoid failure at all costs, waiting for perfection. That doesn't get you there faster. It actually slows you down.
So, embrace the mess-ups.
Pretty much. Jump in, try things, make mistakes, learn from them. That's the fast track. You gain wisdom much quicker that way. The source shared that anecdote about their YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, the 3 years to get 2K subs, learning the hard way.
Right. And then applying those hard-won lessons.
Yeah.
Just 3 months to go from 2K to 100K. Failure wasn't the end. It was the teacher.
Wow, so the takeaway is, life's going to knock you down sometimes.
Guaranteed. The mindset is accepting that and just committing to getting back up every single time. No excuses.
This seems linked to that idea of energetic alignment, too.
Definitely. Your actions, your internal state, they need to match the energy of what you want to attract. If you want, say, high-level opportunities, but your energy is spent on drama or seeking validation, it's a mismatch.
So focus your actions on growth, on your goals.
And that naturally raises your vibration, aligns you with better things, people, opportunities, the works.
Got it. Another mindset shift mentioned is defying average. What's that about?
Simply put, if your goals aren't average, your life can't be average either. Your friends might be choosing different paths right now, maybe prioritizing immediate fun or comfort. That's fine for them. But if your dream needs discipline, early mornings, studying, networking, you have to accept that your path looks different.
And be okay with that. Find reassurance in knowing your choices match your destination.
Exactly. And related to that is controlling consumption and comparison. Big one in today's world. The message is blunt. Get off your phone if you're just mindlessly scrolling. Passively watching others live their lives while yours stalls. Not helpful.
Ouch. Okay, so be intentional about what you consume.
Yes. Curate your social media. Make it inspiring, educational, not just a comparison trap. And constantly remind yourself, your journey is unique. Your timeline is unique. Comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Pointless.
True. Then there's radical responsibility. Sounds intense.
It's about empowerment.
Yeah.
Stop the why me victim mentality. Stop making excuses. That just gives away your power.
So instead of, why is this happening to me?
Ask,
Yeah.
how is this serving me? What's the lesson here? Take adversity, past challenges, whatever. Extract the learning and use it as fuel. Turn trauma into power. The source shared how they did this with a tough upbringing.
Powerful shift. What about the child versus adult mindset?
Yeah, the source contrasts these. The child mindset expects ease, does only what feels good, avoids discomfort, hits snooze. We all are sometimes. But the adult mindset understands that achieving big things means doing what's necessary, even when you don't feel like it. It's about managing your feelings to drive the right actions. Getting up when tired because you made a commitment to yourself.
Taking control. Okay. And finally, self-talk.
Crucial. Become aware of that inner voice. We often use limiting language without realizing it. I'm just bad with money, or I'm not smart enough for that.
Framing it as who you are instead of a skill you lack.
Exactly. Reframe it. It's not I am bad with money. It's there are financial skills I can learn. It's not I'm not smart enough. It's there's knowledge I can gain. Avoid creating that victim story with your own words. Shift from limitation to possibility.
Okay, so much good stuff in mindset. That brings us to the third pillar. Action, routine, habits. This is where the planning and mindset actually hit the pavement, right? Making it real daily.
Precisely. Consistent implementation is how you close that gap fast. A great starting point is nailing down a morning routine. It's such a common thread for successful people.
Like getting up early, maybe some exercise, reading, meditating.
Yeah, things like that. It sets a productive, focused tone for the whole day. Get you ahead of the curves.
And the key is integrating goal actions into daily life so they become automatic.
Automatic is the goal. Less debating, more doing. Think about the healthy eating example again. You do the research once, make the grocery list, maybe meal prep. Then eating healthy isn't a constant decision. It's just what happens. You remove the friction.
Using a habit tracker seems helpful here too, seeing the progress.
Definitely. A simple checklist or an app. Ticking off that workout, the reading, the focus work block, it reinforces consistency, builds momentum. And remember to update those habits as you evolve. What got you here won't necessarily get you there.
Good point. What about staying motivated? Inspiration can fade.
It can. So you need systems for it. Don't rely on just feeling inspired. Create a vision board, physical or digital wallpaper, something you see all the time. Be ruthless with your social media feeds. Fill them with inspiration and education, not stuff that just wastes time or makes you feel inadequate.
The source mentions saving motivational stuff too, like a go-to folder.
Yeah, like saving TikToks or quotes or articles. Something you can tap into when you're having an off day.
Yeah.
Consciously feed yourself inspiration.
Okay. And moving beyond daily habits. Timelines and deadlines.
Yes. Look bigger than just the week. Set deadlines for milestones, maybe monthly or quarterly, like the business example. Set dates for finishing the plan, finalizing designs, placing orders. It creates accountability. Urgency.
Drives action. Makes sense. But it's not about working 24/7.
No, absolutely not. It's about working smarter in the time you allocate. Rest is crucial. Burnout doesn't accelerate anything.
Right. Now, this throw-out stage concept sounds really interesting. It's more than just decluttering.
Oh, much more. It's about regularly assessing everything in your life, maybe monthly, quarterly, possessions, yes, but also people, activities, commitments.
And asking, does this serve me? Does it align with my future self?
Exactly. Does it energize me or drain me? Does it clutter my space or my mind? Be ruthless. Donate clothes that don't match your future image. Evaluate relationships, who lifts you up, who drags you down. Can you outsource tasks that eat time you could use better? It requires real, honest, critical thinking about all the pieces of your life.
Wow. That could free up a lot of energy.
That's the whole point, and it leads to the final action point. Focus on goals, not people or drama. If a situation or relationship is constantly stressful, distracting, negative, ask yourself, would my future self put up with this BS?
And if the answer is no?
Use that throw-out principle. Remove it. Protect your energy. You need it for building your future, not fighting pointless battles.
Okay, incredible stuff. We've covered the planning, the mindset shifts, the daily actions and routines. To wrap up this deep dive, what are some immediate first steps someone listening can take, like right now?
Yeah, let's make it practical. Start small, but start first. Actually schedule some time, maybe even just 30 minutes to start defining that dream life using those categories. Write down some specifics.
Okay, good first step. Second.
Take one action on inspiration today. Change your phone wallpaper. Unfollow 5 accounts that drain you. Follow one that inspires you. Create that motivation folder. Just do something.
Love it.
Third, take a few minutes for quiet reflection. Honestly, what in your life right now is truly serving you? And what feels like dead weight, like something that needs that throw-out assessment? Be honest with yourself. Fourth, make a mental note, or even a physical one, of 1 or 2 of those mindset shifts that really resonated. Remind yourself of them when things get tough.
Fifth, commit to learning something. Identify one book, one course, one podcast related to a key area for your future self, finances, a skill, whatever, and decide when you'll start consuming it.
And finally, 6th, start building that routine.
Yeah.
Pick one small thing. Maybe it's just setting your alarm 15 minutes earlier tomorrow, or downloading a habit tracker and adding one habit. Set one small deadline for a near-term goal.
Brilliant. Small, actionable steps.
Exactly. It's not about perfection overnight. It's about consistency. taking deliberate steps today to build that life you want tomorrow.
Fantastic. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is this. Think about how much amazing potential might be sitting inside you, just waiting for the right time or the right feeling or for things to line up perfectly. What if instead you decided to consciously create and step into that future self starting right now, in this very moment? What could change?